the revolutionary ankle lock system, an integrated brace built into the boots, delivering unrivaled support, protecting ligaments from twists, tears, and trauma.
Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and Our Kings. One of my favourite men in boxing, Kalle Sauerland. Look, we should catch up more often, but the schedule doesn't always allow it. How are we, my friend? The suit's back on today. We're not on Misfits vibes.
Misfits duty's over this week. Firmly on traditional boxing. Very excited to do my first ever show. Our first ever show in Dublin. We were here with Misfits last year, but traditional boxing, first ever show. But even more excited than that, to have a part in Michael Conlan, the Irish legend, the prodigal son, and he's in Dublin for the first time, and that's a very nice box ticked on my resume that I'm looking forward to doing on Friday night. It's going to be absolutely banging, live on Channel 5. Live and free on Channel 5, Fight TV all over the world. Really excited. And throw into that, we've got, I think it's 12 fights on the card. We're going to see some great, the main event, obviously, Ireland versus England. Don't really need to promote that. But it spreads throughout the card, so there's lots of that. We've got Charlie Edwards returning. And some of our best test talent as well coming over here to test themselves. Dan Toward, looking forward to see him as well.
It's I always feel like Ireland's a place that we should come more to, just as boxing in general, not necessarily just the promotion. And you have to have the people to do it. How exciting is it, the fact that you've got Michael Conlan on what he keeps naming as his final chapter? But I have to say, whether it is or it isn't, the work he's doing in the gym, the mental state that he's in for this fight, he's enjoying his boxing again, and this could be one hell of a run if it is the final chapter.
Well, it is the final chapter of his professional career, that's for sure. The question is, how's that final chapter written? This is a beautiful part of it. He won't be thinking that this week, and he certainly won't be thinking that Friday night, but he'll look back on his career and remember this evening, that's for sure. So it is a historic night for Irish boxing, but it also is high stakes. I was doing an interview on the way up here now, and someone said it's all high stakes. Could have taken an easier opponent for the homecoming and probably would have sold out. So but we have to up the levels. He came back last year. It was one of the most interesting, or earlier this year, but the most interesting negotiation with a guy. Mick's part of his career. He's so professional that he said, "No, I don't want to be top of the bill. I have to be co-feature." So as a promoter, we'd put him top of the bill here or New York or Belfast or wherever. But we weren't able to do that because he insisted on that, because he wanted that as part of the journey. This guy, you look at his pro record, what's Mick now, 33? But his amateur record, his time in the sport is second to none. How he's not won a world title is beyond me. How he didn't win the gold medal is beyond me as well, but that's another matter. That's for another day. That's one of the earlier chapters. But it is, he's got a handful in Bateson. Don't even need to talk about the storyline, as I said, between the countries. So, it's a good, very, very good fight. He's bringing a crowd over here as well, so it's going to be a noisy old atmosphere. Tune in, Channel 5.
I was going to say, we can't look past this Friday, and I know we're always maybe a bit guilty, but providing Mick comes through, let's just say that, he obviously wants the world title, but we keep getting pivoted off with a rematch with Lee Wood, a Josh Warrington fight, which for me, I've said 3 or 4 years ago, I think you'd have had one fight, maybe 2 fights with the best atmosphere you'd have probably heard. And I think we still could have that. But what would you like to see? Obviously, he does want the world title, but they are appealing fights, and obviously it's big money.
It's half and half for me, unfortunately. And it will play out the way it plays out, as it always does in boxing. These things, we think we decide them, but we don't really, because something opens up. And the biggest fights right now for him are Lee Wood and probably Josh Warrington. Those are big arena fights, if not arguably stadium fights. But then you'd also, look at it. We want that world title, and you want that part of the journey. He deserves, and that's a word I don't use often in a pro career. Is he deserves that world title? You look back at the whole career of Mick Conlan, and he's one of those fighters that he's got. You'd think now, Mick Conlan was a world champion. No, and you actually check, he wasn't yet, and that's. That sounds odd, doesn't it? It's like A, he hasn't fought in Dublin, and B, he hasn't won a world title. Those are two things. We're going to correct one on Friday night, and I am hell bent on doing the second as well. But it's professional boxing. You get paid to fight. Those two fights are big money fights. Probably bigger money fights than the world title fighter now. But Mick is different. Ultimately, it's his decision in the end as well, which one we really pursue. But like I said, these things are normally not decided even by the boxer. It's just the way the paths happen, and it's weird like that, boxing, 27 years later, a promoter, and I still can't work it out. Sometimes you think, okay, we're definitely going to do that fight, and you end up with something else. It's not always better, but it's just the way it happens.
That's the way it works, though, now, isn't it? You've got best laid plans and that, but sometimes an alternative is good. Look, I want to talk to you about something that does make money. I was on holiday last week. I saw all the footage from the show. Darren Till, Carl Froch, Take My Money. I saw Carl Froch on his YouTube channel speaking with the fella at the Zone saying, look, what we're talking, a lot of money. You must be licking your lips at that. You know what you're doing, bringing him there. Yeah. Darren's pumped up. Wins in fighting fashion. Although he's 11 years out the ring, Darren's experience, does that not level it out a little bit?
If this was traditional boxing and this was the fight being talked about, I wouldn't be here. I'd be closing that deal now. Misfits generally is a strange space, but it's one of those spaces I feel you have to. You put your proposal forward, and then you've got to let the fighter then, because I can't make up Carl Froch's mind. He's been out the ring 11 years. He's a full-time world champion, Hall of Famer. 80,000 at Wembley. I haven't forgotten that one, Carl. Yes, you beat my man. That was a bitter night for me. So, look, we're going to put something to him this week. I've made loads of fights with Carl over the years. Like you said, we're now mates. I don't think we were ever. We did have a back and forth, especially around the Kessler fights, especially around the first Kessler fight in particular. But mates decide this is business, and he'll that's what he says himself. Yeah. He's looking at his business. He's looking at the moolah, and if the moolah's right, then I guess we're going to have a fight, because Darren definitely wants it. I think that people saying Misfits pay, and look, Misfits pays the big bucks. That's why it puts on the big shows. And that's what it is, So Michael Ridout, who was the Zone executive in that interview. Go and watch Carl's podcast. He said it the same way as I would say it. It's a big fight because A, the two, and B, you don't know what's going to happen. You really don't know. You don't know what Carl Froch is going to turn up. How does Darren fare against a traditional boxer like that? But I would say Carl looked an exceptional nick. He's definitely
not letting himself go.
No, he's not letting himself go, but he's also bulked up a bit, which he's going to need to do because it's going to be at a higher weight than he was boxing at. So that would be I know you're going to ask me how to weight. I've got no idea, Matt. No.
I'm going to Abbas Barrow. Let's talk about it. Watch the performance on live stream. When you see him become a world champion, someone you've dealt with for many years, what's your feelings when you see him pick that belt up? I saw your brother in the ring. You could see what it meant, and he's done it the hard way. He's had his downs, but what a moment for him.
It's like, I think it's my 48th world champion. Not that I'm counting, but it's all the sweeter. Honestly, I can't describe the feeling of if you could write a career up for me, like someone who I'd work with to promote, is someone who I've signed as an amateur, taken him all the way through to a world title shot. He's lost the world title shot, which I think was a bit of a robbery 5 years ago against Jack Bateson, and then come back and won it. It's like if you could even put that little setback in there as well to make it even sweeter. That is unbelievable. The feeling, unbelievable. I think this is reaction. I think I've took his head off.
It was mad for the European. I was there for that, and that was emotional. Can't imagine what that one was like.
Yeah. But no, I mean they're very close, and it was just a beautiful moment. He is a beautiful human being. Yeah, like he is a good man. And British fans remember the Sam Eglinton fight. You see, he's always in fun fights. By the way, Sam Eglinton's also always in some great fights. But he's, you're watching a Bass fight. You know, two things: it's going to be fun, and he's going to give you his all. And you can't ask for more as a pro fighter. You can't. And just sweet. Like unbelievable moment.
Absolutely. Look, Kalle, I know a few other people are going to want to speak to you, so I'm going to let you get off. Appreciate talking to Boxing Social. We'll catch up soon.
Top man. Thank you.
The revolutionary ankle lock system, an integrated brace built into the boots, delivering unrivaled support, protecting ligaments from twists, tears, and trauma.